This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com, ODOO.com.
Carboni's Pizza is here to fuel you all through the playoffs. Visit one of their 30-plus locations to enjoy delicious pizza and get ready for the Minnesota playoff run. Find your nearest Carboni's today at carbonispizza.com.
I was checking the pronunciation of the word because I've seen it before, but I didn't know it. I'm not into. Rosen would have known. He's into fine dining. Bradshaw, Brian, KFAN, text line 64686. My name is Justin. I'm the executive sous chef, S-O-U-S. Did you know it was pronounced sous? I would have thought it was South.
South.
But it says sous chef at Grandview. I'm super excited to see the power trip this week. I got chicken strips for Corey. So there you go. He's going to take care of Corey. He's got chicken strips for him up the show, which is a nice thing. Several text messages have come in to the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line that says text line. This one says Troy Brown was the Patriots player who played both ways. Troy Brown. Here's another. Common, my 6-year-old son's name is Churchill. What sport does it sound like he would be fit for him? Churchill, probably church chess league is what I would say. No, Churchill sounds like it sounds tennis. It sounds like a tennis name. Big Bill Churchill is what I would call him. Did tennis children yell shoot, shoot, shoot during the game on Saturday? Did they yell that at all, or was it just sit, sit, sit they yelled?
They yelled sit. They also started to jump along when the referees when the fans would do the refs you suck chant, which they did like 5 times. Like, nope, we're not doing that, guys.
Yeah, we're not doing that part.
No.
Was the Wild game paid for out of the joint account? Is what he wants to know. Was it? Or was it out of your account?
Who says I paid?
It should. If not, it should have been. I mean, Tenna's wife got a 4-hour break. So, yeah. So you're saying those tickets weren't available to everybody? I see how that works. Isn't that nice?
I got the Rosen deal. Let's just.
Isn't that nice? Give me a second. Hit the music. Oh, back to the Wolves. They win 116-113. They're now up 3-1. L.A., they laid it on the line is what they did. Guys are laying it on the line. Guys are in the training room. Actually, guys were just on the bench. They only played 5 guys in the entire second half. And we discussed that, and there's been much criticism levied onto J.J. Redick for his playing just 5 guys. I think you and I talked about it in segment 3, hour 1. I don't think he had a choice. Just his bench is it's thinner than. I was just going to say, member of the air staff, their skin, but I'm not going to do it. I just want to get in trouble. But say their bench is thin. Let's just say that. But he's been criticized. But let me ask you this, Timmy. Had they won, what do you think they'd say? Brilliant move playing everybody. He couldn't go to that bench. Just a brilliant move by the coach. And the players sucked it up and they showed why they're the Lakers. That's what the storyline would be. Mm-hmm. And I don't blame them for, look, you should be able to trust a guy or two for a handful of minutes, right? That does speak volumes about what you think of your team. But at the same time, as you and I discussed, it's 2-1. If you lose that game, the series is essentially over. Mm-hmm. Could you win 3 in a row? Yeah, it's happened before, and they may do it. I highly doubt it. But you win.
When you're the team with less depth, winning 3 in a row becomes more challenging.
Correct. So now if you win that and it's even at 2-2, and you're going back to your place, then the pressure's back on the other side, and then maybe you can use some bench players. But I don't think the decision was a bad one. Ant was as good as I've seen.
And if you're mad at him not using anyone on his bench in the second half, blame the GM.
Well, that's it. That would be the guy to blame.
He's got to provide him with someone to put out there.
Ant was as good as it gets. I said this during that third segment of the first hour that I'm not sure I've not seen every game that Ant's played. He's scored more points in a game before. But the number of points isn't necessarily a gauge for it's the best game he ever played. But he had 43 points. I think it was 9 rebounds, 5 assists. He made great decisions. The coach had nothing but glowing things to say about him. He said, Chris Finch said, he's a special player and had a special game. He was then asked about his increased efficiency in the clutch. And Finch said, obviously, that's been a battle this season. It's the composure. I call him a home run hitter, but now he's hitting way more doubles and singles, and those plays are timely. I think he has an understanding of where the defense is going to be when he starts and when he ends. He's talking to me now and sharing some of the things he wants and likes to see out there, so we try to manipulate the floor accordingly. And that's the growth that everybody's wanted to see. And if you'll remember, earlier in the year, there were a number of us, including myself. And again, I'll preface it by saying I only hold people to the same standards that I hold myself. Okay? And after 5 years in the league, Ant wasn't doing the things he needed to do to take him to that next level. He just wasn't. He would make bad decisions. He played hero ball too much. Complained at the refs. I don't know if he led the league in technical fouls, but he had to be amongst the leaders. He talked about, I want to score. I'm young. I can't score because they're double teaming me. And then I brought this up on several occasions. After he did I can't score when they're double teaming me, when he had 5 points in a game. Next game, I think he had 45 or 40 something. But he's in this series, particularly yesterday, exactly what Finch said. And he's talking to the coach. He sees things better. And I think maybe, including myself, you expect a little bit, not as steep a learning curve on that, but maybe it took that from him. Maybe Randall's got a lot to do with it. I don't know. Conley, the veteran point guard, I'm sure he's taken him under his wing. He probably learned something from LeBron. He said so in his quotes. Said LeBron took him under his wing during the Olympics, right? And helped him along there. So he's had plenty of people, plenty of successful players to learn from. And now it seems like it's right at the nick of time. The team they weren't a mess the entire year. Once Randall got back, they started. Now again, a lot of it had to do with that. They had a really, really weak schedule. They were, when they came out of that All-Star break, I think they were ranked as the second least difficult schedule in the league, but they took care of it. They didn't. They had a couple of the games that they just gave away that they should. Hell, I mean, I guess since Randall came back, I think they're 25-5. Do I expect them to be 30-0? Well, no, but they gave away a couple. Was it the Utah game and another game against a terrible team? Two of the worst teams in the league they lost to. It's like, how do you? And one of them, which one was the one that they started 5 bench guys? They rested all their starters. Why are you resting starters when you're terrible? Was that the Indiana game? There was a game 3 weeks ago, roughly, where the other team started all their backups and they beat the Wolves. And you're like, how do you let that happen? I don't know. But they did. But it doesn't matter now because that's all in the past. And that's, I guess, what I've been saying all along about. And this isn't just the NBA. This is probably the NHL, Major League Baseball. But there are so many games that if you know you're a playoff, I mean, they let in half the teams in the West and half the teams in the East. So if you know you're one of the top 8 teams, you want to avoid the play-in because an upset can happen, right? You know, oh my gosh, we got to play we're a really good team. We sloughed off a lot during the season. We took nights off. The other team tried harder than us. It took us a while to get to gel and stack. And now we found ourselves in the 9th seed or the 8th, and we got to play in now, or the 9th, 10th, 11th, whatever they are.
7, 8, 9, 10.
7, 8, 9, 10. We got to play in. But they didn't have to. They avoided that. Once you get in, you get in. There's a 6 and a 3. They had and especially this year, how many games separated 3 and 6? One game. So it's just getting.
There's basically no difference.
Getting into the tournament is all that's important. Now, because the Wolves have to this point, and I think they'll finish off the series in Los Angeles. Did you say it was Wednesday night?
Yes.
They'll finish off the game, the series on Wednesday night. But if they don't, I still think they're going to win. I got money on it. I bet with Rosen on it. I still think, all things being equal, you'd rather have been the 3rd seed than the 6th seed, right? So giving away a couple of those games, wasn't the best thing in the world because you would have had home court advantage now. And if you win as the 3rd seed, who knows? You might get another home court advantage series, right? So,
well, they might end up getting a home court advantage because if Golden State advances, the Wolves are the higher seed all of a sudden.
That is true. And I think Golden State,
not that home court really, I don't know if it matters that much.
No, I don't think it matters that much. I said that last week. I mean, I think there is some difference, but I think once you get to this point, if you're a really good team, you can win on the road. It's not the end of now again, Oklahoma City was a 1 seed playing an awful 8 seed, but they won 4 in a row. They won 2 on the road. They didn't have any trouble winning on the road. You can win on the road. It's happens all the time. So, but I would love to see it. And I was stunned that I was literally stunned, not surprised, but stunned that Golden State won without Jimmy Butler. And as I talked about, I know you didn't see it, but Steph was just I can't say he's the best player to ever play the game. He's probably the best pure shooter, right?
I still think he might be a little underrated.
I think he is because he can play defense.
But how many ships they've won?
Yeah.
He's changed the game. He's changed the way these kids grow up now.
Yeah.
The way, the analytics of shooting all these threes changed once he got into the league and started firing them.
Well, and he plays better defense than I think I ever gave him credit for. He was really good the other night defensively. Well, he needed to be. They knew it. And he said at the end when, he kind of did we wanted for Jimmy, or we knew we had to without Jimmy. We all had to. So I think that actually brought them together and made them give it the old college try. One quick call before we go to break. Chris, you're on the Fan. Thanks for calling. Chris.
Hello?
Hey, Chris, what's up? Okay. Chris.
It's like, hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
You're on the radio,
Got
Chris.
a little cabin on the 4th hall of the woods.
Okay.
We'll be up there, happy to meet you at 6 a.m. I'm usually up at the crack of dawn.
Breaking
Meet you on the first tee with some hen.
You're breaking up. I can't quite hear. What I'll do is I'll stop by that cabin. Just have a hot cup of coffee ready for me.
You betcha.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
I always love that one.
I did that last year on the 2nd hole of the woods. Some people were standing on their deck, and I said, you wouldn't happen to have a pot of coffee going right now and could fill me up? And they said, absolutely. So they gave me a cup of coffee. Just a little pit stop there. I'm not afraid. I have no shame. I wasn't afraid to ask. All they can say is, go get your own coffee. Oh, boy, that was a fast-paced, controversial segment there. Only you and I would dare to. What did we talk about? Oh, wolves. Ant and the wolves. We'll pause. We'll return. But right now, Tenneby has got bonus bucks.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword FUN at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. The keyword is FUN. Enter now at KFAN.com.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Oh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Meaningful Beauty, the famed skincare brand created by iconic supermodel Cindy Crawford. It's her secret to absolutely gorgeous skin. Meaningful Beauty makes powerful and effective skincare simple, and it's loved by millions of women. It's formulated for all ages and all skin tones and types, and it's designed to work as a complete skincare system, leaving your skin feeling soft, smooth, and nourished. I recommend starting with Cindy's full regimen, which contains all 5 of her best-selling products, including the amazing youth-activating melon serum. This next generation serum has the power of melon leaf stem cell technology. It's melon leaf stem cells encapsulated for freshness and released onto the skin to support a visible reduction in the appearance of wrinkles. With thousands of glowing 5-star reviews, why not give it a try? Subscribe today and you can get the amazing Meaningful Beauty system for just $49.95. That includes our introductory 5-piece system, free gifts, free shipping, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. All of that available at meaningfulbeauty.com.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance, it keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Mark Rosen makes his triumphant return tomorrow at just before 2 o'clock. And we'll get into all the juicy details of the Wild, the Wolves, the draft, injured Minnesota Twins, and whatever else might be happening. Charles Odom, I call him Chuck. I got a good vibe with him. He writes sports for the Associated Press. Headline, Falcons say defensive coordinator Ulbricht's son was responsible for prank call to Shedeur Sanders. Dateline Atlanta. Atlanta Falcons said Sunday that D coordinator Jeff Ulbricht's son was responsible for a prank call made to NFL draft pick Shedeur Sanders. The Falcons released a statement saying the 21-year-old Jax Ulbricht unintentionally came across the draft contact phone number for Shedeur Sanders off an open iPad while visiting his parents' home and wrote the number down to later conduct a prank call. Though Jax Ulbricht provided the number, he was sitting beside an unidentified friend who actually made the call to Sanders. So it was a two-man job, Tenneby. It wasn't, it wasn't just one
aided
guy.
and abetted.
Yeah, exactly. Falcon said Ulbricht was unaware, Jeff, the old man, was unaware of the data exposure or the prank until after the fact. They offered sincere apologies to Shedeur Sanders and his family in their statement. And Jax Ulbricht also posted a public apology on social media. In the call, Jax Ulbricht's friend identified himself as New Orleans Saints general manager Mickey Loomis and told Sanders he'd been drafted by the Saints before ending the call. Sanders said Saturday after being drafted, it didn't really have no impact on me because it was just like, okay, I don't feed into negativity or I don't feed into that stuff. That is what it is. I think, of course, it's childish, of course. I feel like it was a childish act, but everybody do childish things here and there. Jax apparently called Sanders. I wonder if that was a prank call. No, he called to apologize to Sanders on Sunday.
Well, he had his number.
Well, that's for sure. What he called a tremendous mistake. He said, Shedeur, what I did was completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. That's what he wrote on social media. I'm so sorry I took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate one of the greatest moments of your life, and I made a terrible mistake and messed with that moment. Thank you for accepting my call earlier today. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. The Falcons apologize as well, saying we don't condone that behavior. So it doesn't like the old man had anything to do with the kid just made thought it was going to be really wacky and funny. And
where the old man's in trouble is, allowing the phone number to be leaked.
Yeah. Why anybody would make a call during the draft and try to pretend he's somebody else. Can you pull that up? I mean, who would think of ever doing something?
See if I can find
it. You got to, regardless of the league, NFL, NHL, NBA, that you would have some knucklehead or aided and abetted by a couple of others that you would try to make some kind of a phone call and pull a ruse, pull the wool over eyes on somebody involved with one of the clubs.
Wolves, nothing?
Wolves are done.
What, 20 minutes away? Wasn't it 5 o'clock?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Why don't we try calling up there right now and, I'll pretend I'm Nelly. And I want to talk to Kevin. I got a great deal for him.
Yeah, he would come to the phone, wouldn't he? We should try that with the secretary. We should try that. That would be very funny.
Because if it was Nelly, you would run to the phone, wouldn't you?
Don Nelson,
let's do it.
Holding for Kevin McHale. Is he there? Do we know? This got disaster written all over it.
I agree. I had nothing to do with this.
This was Commons' idea.
Kevin McHale's office?
Yeah, Mark Schultz with the Dallas Mavericks calling for Don Nelson. Is Kevin McHale in?
Let me check. Hold on.
Right, thanks.
You talk again, then.
Oh, me again?
Yeah.
What do I say?
He likes you.
Say you're his assistant. Keep going with the Nelly thing. See if he recognizes it. Talk about a trade.
Hello?
Kevin.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Mark Schultz with the Dallas Mavericks. I'm Don Nelson's assistant, and Don was hoping he'd have a chance to chat with you a little bit later before the trading deadline. We got a whopper for you.
Go ahead.
Well,
what do you want to do since we got about 15 minutes?
Well, we were thinking maybe a little Sean Bradley for that Stoico guy.
Sean Bradley for Stoico.
Yeah.
I don't think we could do that. Because if it was the common man, I'd believe it.
So did you recognize his voice right away, or?
Yeah, about 1 second into the thing.
We're on,
But
by
we
the
knew
way. We are on the air, but we
Kevin
knew
McHale's appearance is brought to you by Nature's 10.
All right, hey, you guys, really, seriously, I do have a phone call.
Seriously?
And it's nothing important, though.
Oh.
But I will take it. You knuckleheads can call me back in about 20 minutes.
All right, we'll call you back.
All right, bye-bye.
It was foolproof, though. If somebody tells a basketball executive in the NBA right now that Don Nelson's on the line, you're gonna drop everything to get to the phone.
I'd like to take this time to apologize to Kevin McHale.
I always love that one.
It was inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm sorry I took away from the Wolves moment. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate one of the greatest moments of your life by selecting who do you think they took of that year for their first pick?
Do you know approximately what year that was from?
It was trade deadline. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was trade deadline, yeah.
No, I don't. Well, we were still in the other building. It was sometime in the late 90s, I think. It was late 90s. Bradley was still playing stuff. He did come to the phone right away.
Yeah.
He didn't hesitate.
Quite the impressionist you were.
Yeah, I guess I didn't. Guess I didn't do as good enough job. Do you think he knew 1 second right away?
Yeah.
Or do you think for a second he thought, I didn't know that. I didn't know Nelly had a new assistant named Mark Schultz. I've not heard from this Schultz character before. And then he finally figured it out. Did you think he knew right away?
I think he knew early on. Because he would have turned down... Right, he wouldn't have turned down Stoico for Sean Bradley so quickly, would he? I mean, he was trying to come up with something funny to say.
Yeah, I think you're right. Whoa, boy, have the microphones changed? The speaker's different or what? Because your voice back in the day was smooth, sultry, and dare I say, sexy. And now I fully understand why you were bestowed the title of Radio Romeo. I think both Barrero and I both had much...
Barrero's is different.
Yeah, whinier voices. I've never had a really good... I wish I had the pipes of a Brian Oak. Wouldn't that be nice? You've got a good voice.
Thank you.
A solid voice.
If you ever want to hear a voice change, listen to PA doing race calls at Canterbury back in the mid-'90s.
Oh, really?
Oh, immensely different.
I have a tape, and you know what? You know me. Nothing really embarrasses me. I mean, I tell people that, right now I have a pair of white athletic socks elevating my scrotum. I don't mind telling you that. No! There was a tape that I will never play for anybody. It was the first time I was ever on the radio. I've told this story before. I'm doing the morning news. I'm a news guy at KQDI in Great Falls, Montana. Mike Dalton, unbeknownst to me, recorded my very first newscast on a little miniature reel-to-reel. He came in and he said, "Here, keep this. Here, take this. You'll want to have this someday." And I listened to it years later, and my sister was there, and she said, "You sound like Mickey Mouse on helium." And I did. I'm Dan Cole with KQDI News. And I was a little better there as the time goes on. I still have an awful voice. It's always breaking. I have bad allergies. I don't prepare for the show. I'm unprepared. How did that bit go that I was doing for the longest time? Unprepared, uninformed.
Unpolished?
And no, it's polished, poised, and professional. I'm unprepared, uninformed, and unapologetic. I don't apologize for it. I'm just not going to. We will pause, and we will come back with one more segment to go. I got a couple of other things I'm going to run down with Tina B. That's next here on The Fan.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Ooh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy Crawford, and I'm the founder of Meaningful Beauty. When Dr. Sabah and I decided to do a skincare line together, he said to me, we are going to give women meaningful beauty. And I said, that's exactly right. We want to give women meaningful beauty, which means each and every product is meaningful. It has a reason to exist. It's efficacious. You're going to get results. And then you just go out and live your life.
Meaningful Beauty. Confidence is beautiful. Learn more at meaningfulbeauty.com.
In the heat of battle, your squad relies on you. Don't let them down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Dominate every match with next-level speed, seamless streaming, and performance that won't quit, so you can push your gameplay beyond performance with Intel Core Ultra processors. For the next era of gaming, upgrade to smooth, high-quality streaming with Intel Wi-Fi 6E and maximize game performance with enhanced overclocking. Win the tech search. Power up at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish or satin, or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews all in the app. Download today.
Fan.
Couple 13-14 pass Common Man program on the Common Man Dan Cole. He's 10 to B. I'm tired of Abbott. I really am. I'm starting to be mildly annoyed by it. Here I come. I'm trying to do a show, and text messages come in from the Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line, and you know what it was earlier today? At least somebody prepared for the show today, meaning you. It's like there's a lot to cover. It's hard to cover it all. You got Wolves, Wild, Vikings, Twins, Lynx, Loons, Frost, PGA, LPGA, Live. Well, we don't cover Live. NFL, and then the whole league itself. There's a lot to keep track of. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to let you in a little secret. Give me 1 second.
Well, I was going to say.
That's Wolves prep right there. A full page of notes I took about the Wolves, which I think was probably the most important story coming into today, other than my golf rounds up.
I was going to say, all that was old news. Wolves played yesterday. The Wild played
that's exactly
Saturday.
Right.
You were talking about what was the biggest story of today, Monday, April 28th, which was your golf game.
Correct. It's my golf game. It has nothing to do with the rest. So I thought I did a nice job doing the Wolves. I was very proud of myself. I felt like a kid that had really, put his nose to the grindstone, burned the minute, put a nice little, you had to do a book report or whatever, or an essay, whatever. I thought I did a nice job. And all I get from him is, so I forgot his name was, is it Jake or Jack Eichel?
It's Jack.
So I forgot his name was Jack Eichel. I saw the name a bunch of times. Eichel this, Eichel that. Is he one of us? It sounds like a Minnesota kid.
In terms of this country, he's one of us. Yeah, he's from the United States of America, but no, he's not Minnesota.
Okay. And I forgot the goaltender's name. Henry Hill or whatever his name was. I don't know. Aiden Hill. Sorry. And I missed the part where Keisha got hit on the arm. I wasn't watching the Twins Friday. I was playing golf. I didn't see it. And then you, they won 5 of 6. They didn't win all 6. Okay, all right.
I'm sure to be accurate.
I know, so I missed one.
I mean, I let you say Riddick twice, and then by the third time around, I had to correct you on the third one.
Which one did you correct?
You're calling him JJ Riddick.
Oh.
It's Reddick.
Reddick.
Ridiculous.
Whatever. It doesn't really matter. Well, can I be like Rosen? Sometimes I say Riddick, sometimes I say Reddick. Just like sometimes Rosen says Doncic. Sometimes he says Doncic.
Yeah.
Sometimes he says DiVincenzo. Sometimes he says DiVincenzo. He said that's what he does. So sometimes I say Riddick, and sometimes I say Reddick.
Sometimes they say Granlund, sometimes they say Gronlund.
Yes, and how do we know which way it's pronounced? I thought I did a hell of a job
Rossi,
today.
it could be Rossi.
Rossi, Martini, and I would scour every hockey roster in the country and find a guy named Martini and sign him to my club, so my line could be Martini and Rossi, and then find some guy named Rock, Martini and Rossi on the rocks. That's what I would do. Okay, there were a couple of other stories that I thought were that raised some interesting issues. NBA headline: NBA acknowledges foul that wasn't called at end of Pistons Knicks game. Detroit's Timmy Hardaway Jr. said he got fouled on the game's final play. The NBA agreed with him, but as Tim Reynolds writes, it didn't matter. Referees missed Hardaway getting fouled while shooting a three-pointer on the final play of Detroit's 94-93 loss to the Knickerbockers, Game 4 Eastern Conference first-round series. That was yesterday. The NBA acknowledged the mistake shortly after the game, saying a foul should have been called on the Knicks' Josh Hart. Had the foul been called, obviously, Hardaway would have had not one, not two, but 3 free throw attempts. And with about 0.3 seconds left in the game, had he made them both, he made 2 of the 3, it's probably over, Johnny. Right? So I think with .03, it'd have to be a tip. I don't think you can catch and shoot. Maybe at .3 you can. Now Knicks take a 3-1 lead in the series. Crew chief Dave Guthrie told a pool reporter after the game. During the live play, it was judged that Josh Hart made a legal defensive play. After post-game review, we observed that Hart makes body contact that is more than marginal to Hardaway Jr., and a foul should have been called. Hart didn't dispute that he made contact with Hardaway. He said, did I make contact? Yeah, I made contact. Was it legal? I don't know. We'll let the 2-minute report say that. The NBA puts out a review of calls in the final 2 minutes of games decided by 3 points or fewer, and those reports released the day after the game. But in this case, with a pool reporter requested the NBA had Guthrie speak to the reporter and explain what happened. If you're Detroit, and that's why, and Timothy, I said this last week, I said it the week before, it seems like in sports, we say the same things all the time. And that is, that's basketball, man. If that's your favorite sport and your favorite team is in the playoffs, just get used to the fact that sometimes it's Charlie O'Keefe. Tennessee did a song called Good Time Charlie's Got the Blues. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. J.B. Bickerstaff has the blues. It just happens. You're going to have, the calls are going to go against you that shouldn't have. And this is a devastating one. 3-1. Well, the Pistons are in the same situation that the Lakers find themselves in. Down 3-1, win 3 in a row. Highly unlikely. It can be done. Should be 2-2. You know, it looks like Bodega Cat and company are going to move on. But that's why it's such an imperfect game, and it's a frustrating game. And I watched basketball from Baby Brother Peter from in-house all the way, 3rd grade, all the way through high school, and I saw it happen at AAU and travel. I saw it happen all the time. And God is my witness, you can believe me or not, I never complained about a call ever because it doesn't do you any good. And you know, I'm not going to say they always even out because they don't. There's nothing that evened out this one. This was the last non-call of the game, and it should have went in Detroit's favor. And my guess is the Hardaway kid makes 2 or 3. Right?
Probably.
And then they win the game. And now it's 2-2, and now all bets are off, and now it's over. So, but that's what you get when basketball is your favorite sport, get used to it because it's never going to change. It's too fast-paced of a game. There's too much contact. The guys are too big. They're too fast. The court's too small. There's a lot of physical contact. And they're going to miss it something. They just aren't going to see it. Or I don't think refs have, I guess people could go conspiracy again. They wanted the Lakers to win because they're in the second biggest market. Then you'd want New York to win because they're in the biggest market. But I don't think that comes into play. I really don't.
Well, that entire last sequence, there was just no calls all over the place on both ways. There's just lots of physical play. I forget who I saw tweet this earlier. But I actually do agree with this. I'm not sure exactly what the rule is on how many challenges they get in basketball. I don't follow the sport enough to know.
I think it's like 2.
But one of the reasons the Wolves won the game is because Finch still had a challenge in his back pocket on the Ant slap across when LeBron slapped across his wrist. If he doesn't have a challenge available there, That's Lakers ball. And it's a 1-point game instead of a 3-point game.
That's correct.
And they have more time. So I saw someone tweet this, and I kind of agree. Like, more of these coaches should try to save a lot of their challenges for some of these end game situations instead of burning them early. You know, how many times have you seen like there's a bad call in the second quarter and the player starts doing the circular motion with his
like
finger?
Play it back.
It's like, it might be the right call at that moment, but wouldn't you rather save it for a bigger moment later in the fourth quarter and just be like, well, if we didn't get that 2 points or we don't get possession here, who cares?
You couldn't be any more correct. I don't know why they do it.
So, like, if Detroit has a challenge in their back pocket, they're winning the game there.
Yep, they are.
Because they would have reviewed that and they would have called that a foul after.
Yep. And that's where we would be. You're absolutely right.
Save your challenges.
You are correct. Someone's defending me. You're doing okay. Tanner forgot that his favorite quarterback in the draft had NFL draft picks at wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3 to target at the college level. Unprecedented.
Huh?
You forgot that your favorite QB in the draft had NFL draft picks as wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3 to target at the college level. In other words, his second and third wide receivers were NFL draft picks.
Shedeur did?
That's what this guy, I don't know. That's what he's saying. So maybe you're not as prepared as Mr. Abbott thinks you are. Maybe we are the most unprepared.
They both got drafted?
Oh, well, so it sounds like to me. I'm eating an orange now. Ever since I've been eating oranges every day, I haven't had any nosebleeds. Of course, I've also been putting Vaseline in my nose. That's what my doctor told me to do. But I feel like when I do that, I'm working at a gas station, man, because this petroleum jelly is just awful, but it's working right now.
They did have 3 receivers drafted. I'm an idiot.
So there you go.
I think I took that take from somebody else. I rose on that one.
The ref in Detroit, in other words, you're saying you had a regurgitate.
I had a regurgitate.
The ref in Detroit did not miss the call. He chose not to call it. He was standing 2 feet from it, looking right at the players. There's no way he did not recognize it was a foul. He just decided not to call it for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. Because
it wasn't like an obvious hand slapping a hand on the call. It was the body contact thing, and sometimes they let that go, and sometimes they don't.
Is that your take, or did you regurgitate that?
That's my take from just having watched the highlight.
Very good. The problem, though, Ten, is that the Pistons couldn't challenge that call because you can't challenge if there was no call made.
Really?
You might want to prepare for the show.
I've just said I didn't know all the challenge rules.
I don't either. Well, because basketball is that kind of a sport.
What do you mean there has to be a call made? There's been other times where a guy gets fouled, they don't call it, and you can challenge it, right?
Now they're sticking up for you. Finch echoed exactly what Tanner just said about saving challenges. Elite basketball mind. Unless he's taking a Rosen act. I don't think you are. I think
I admitted hearing that take somewhere else and agreeing with it.
I think you have an elite basketball mind. Look, pick on us all you want. We don't care. We're just going to keep plotting. You know what we tend to be? We're going to keep our head up and chin up and our head down and plow forward. We're going to keep doing the things that we've always done that made us from being fourth in the North to now we're slowly climbing that ladder. We feel like we're finally coming to our own after 20 years together. It took a while. How long did it take the Wolves to gel? All season. They didn't gel to postseason. How long did it take us to gel? It's taken us 20 years to start to gel, and now we're gelling. I really think we are. I think it's all coming together for us as a team.
Gelling and stacking.
That's what we're doing. We're gelling and stacking. I think we're doing just fine. Warren, you're on the fan. What's up?
Well, I just wanted to comment on a couple things. The guy that did the best playing dual defensive back and receiver with Green from he played with the Cardinals back in the 70s, early 80s, and that he was the only guy that I ever know to lead amongst the leaders in receptions in the league and interceptions. That year, amazingly, he had 6 and had like 70 or 80 catches on that one. I think the Browns were. I think that was the smartest move in the draft to draft a guy in the 5th round like that. Because this is if it was me and I had him on my team, this is what I would do in the preseason. I'd play him an awful lot. I'd use him at wide receiver and in the backfield and other things besides quarterback all the time. And then I would while he was on the field, I would throw to players. I would use him as a guy that during the season, you always have to worry about. If he's on the field, he could throw the football from any position. He could be running back, wide receiver. I would use him a lot, and I'd get other teams to thinking of that. And I want to give Tenna credit for doing a wonderful job. On your guys that you were talking about before the draft, because that defensive back, the second one you talked about, I think he not only was the most productive guy in college, I think he's going to be outstanding. Hasn't had any injury history. But I think that Fannin Jr., that tight end, I by far and away see this guy as being really good. And that's what you do. The Vikings, this is where I don't trust the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know how their draft picks are going to do. You can't trust a group that have had this many chances, had that many failures. But if you look at before the draft at guys that get visits from really, really good draft people in the front office, and you see where they get picked up, or even as free agents.
Right.
And you see how in certain teams like Baltimore, the Walker guy, the reason I brought that guy up
quickly
on Friday.
We're almost out of time.
This is what's amazing. The guy had over 30 sacks, and he had over 70 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. He was a 4th-round draft choice by Tampa. This guy is unbelievable. And the guys you chose this time, Tenna, did not only played extremely well, but you could tell that these guys are going to be guys that are going to contribute. And I wouldn't necessarily trust the Minnesota Vikings. I wouldn't necessarily trust what. Yep, you guys have a good one.
Should I be concerned that he agrees with all my draft?
Yes, that's why
my draft takes.
That's getting too crazy for me. But maybe you're a great mind. You just handed me a story out of Buffalo, New York. This is good. Bills GM gets testy with radio hosts over NFL draft criticism. This is juicy. Bills GM Brandon Beane began a Monday morning radio appearance with a strong response to criticism against the team's approach to the wide receiver position, appearing on local Buffalo station WGR 550. The Jeremy and Joe Show.
Jeremy and Joe.
On the show, Jeremy and Joe. Beane was asked about the busyness of his draft weekend to start his interview. He responded by saying that he was listening to the discussion before he came on the radio and said that sounds like 2018 all over with you guys. Well, you guys were complaining in 2018 about Josh Allen. You guys wanted Josh Rosen. Now you guys are complaining that we don't have a receiver. Beane said when he was asked what he meant, we just scored 30 points in a row for 8 straight games. A year ago, I get you guys asking why we didn't have receivers, but I don't understand it now. You just saw us lead the league in points. When you add all the postseason, no one scored more points than the Buffalo Bills, including the big game champs. So you just saw us do it without Steph Diggs, same group. How is this group not better than last year's group? Our job is to score points and win games. Where do we need to get better? Defense. We did that. So I get you got to have a show and you got to have something to complain about, but complaining about wide receivers is one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard. You got him going.
Bitter on Twitter.
Well, you get a guy going is what you do.
And obviously 2018 he's referencing, he mentioned there, Josh Allen, which that's my favorite thing is to see like old YouTube videos of Bills fans' reactions to the Josh Allen pick, and they're just bitter about it.
Because they wanted Josh Rosen, who they wanted. That's who the radio guys wanted. Radio guys always, other than you and me, radio guys always think they have all the answers. You know, we got it all figured out.
I always love that one.
This Beane guy's been working as a GM for who knows how many years. You know, now again, he's not won the big game. So if you want to criticize him about everything, they can't even get to the big game, right? So criticize him about that. But guy's good at his job. I'm glad he's got an ego. Makes it more interesting because he's got an ego. So radio guys getting him going. And again, look, we're in the business of offering up opinions. That's what we do, you know. And, it'd be better if, like, you actually watched a game so you could give an opinion that was, you know, I don't always do that.
They're not the most educated opinions.
No, they're not the most educated opinions. I just pick up the Fish Wrap Factory, East, West, made a little Athletics, some Associated Press, and CBS Sports, my favorites. And I just kind of scan the headlines, look at a story, take a look at the quotes. It's not too hard to figure out. What the truth of the matter is the games aren't that complicated. If a guy says the other team tried harder than us, what more do we need to know? That's all I need to know. I don't need box scores. I don't need ebbs and flows and what kind of a run they made and how they use their bench. If one team ain't trying as hard as the other team, that ain't good. And that's the headline. So, but I like that the GM he was listening.
Yeah.
I think I often wonder that.
He's got some big ears, huh?
Let me ask you a couple of questions real quick so we don't have much time. Do you think Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah listens to sports talk radio?
He doesn't come across as that kind of guy. No.
Do you think Bill Guerin listens to sports talk?
If any of them does, it's Bill.
Bill listens.
Yeah.
Do you think Derek Falvey listens to sports talk radio?
I was for the Twins. I don't think I'd want to listen to sports talk radio.
Wow, that's a very good point.
I would try to avoid that at all costs.
And do you think Tim Connolly? Is it Connolly? Did I get the name right? I'm sorry.
It's Connolly.
We got too many Connollys.
It's confusing because there's a Mike Conley.
We got too many of them. Connolly.
I don't know Tim well enough.
I don't think he listens either.
I think Bill Guerin's the one, if any of them do.
And do you think, like, Kevin O'Connell listens?
No.
Do you think John Hines listens?
Maybe.
Do you think Rocco Baldelli listens?
Yes.
Do you think Chris Finch listens?
No.
I think you probably nailed them all. That's probably how I would have answered them, too. And not knowing these guys.
What about the ownership? Do you think Ziggy listens? Ziggy and Sir Mark?
No. Maybe when PA's on. They love the national treasure.
What about the Pohlads?
They wouldn't spend money on a radio.
Too expensive for
Too expensive. Spend money on a radio.
Lori and A-Rod don't.
Glenn's only got AM on his radio. He doesn't even have FM.
A-Rod might. He seems like he's into himself a lot and would want to hear people talking about him.
He'll talk. You know what? He'll have one guy in this radio station talking about him all the time if he'll offer up those courtside seats again. You know that. Hey, that was fun. Thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
I thought I was very well prepared today. I'm so bitter. I've had enough of that, but I can't take this anymore. I want to go down and give him a piece of my mind.
It sounds like he wants a little seventh inning stretch is what he wants to hear.
Well, you know what? If I got to get Anselmo involved, we'll see you tomorrow at 12 noon. Mark Rosen at 2 o'clock. Stick around. Big Ticket JG there next year on The Fan.
And good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
You live by the dog, you die by the dog.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com, ODOO.com.
Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
The wait is almost over. Get ready for the NFL season like never before with the highly anticipated 2025 NFL schedule release. Every rivalry, every rematch, every rookie debut, every game revealed, The dates will be set. Primetime matchups will be known, and the road to the Super Bowl starts here. The full NFL schedule release, Wednesday, May 14th. Get all of the details at NFL.com/schedule release.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.